Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Paragamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Pitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tata Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Today we're celebrating the appearance of Lord Rama. Jai Haribo. A happy day. We could begin with a verse, a Sanskrit verse, which goes like this. He Dinanata Sharanam Janakatmajaya He Sankateshvatula Rakshaka Sajjananam Tang Ravanavara Jayopahato Vihasya Sheshavadhanam avalamya sadashrayobu. O Lord of the distressed, you are the refuge, the shelter of the daughter of Janaka. And you are the incomparable protector of the pious souls in all kinds of dangers. When you were approached by the younger sister of Ravana, You simply smiled. Younger sister refers to Shurpanaka. Backed by the vigilance of Lakshmana, Anantashesha, you were a safe shelter for your consort, protecting her from Shurpanaka's assault. The story of the Lord appearing and his pastimes as Ramacandra is a very famous, very well-known story. Perhaps all of you already know the essentials of this story. We have been discussing these pastimes the last couple of days. And today we may continue with, very briefly, something of these pastimes. Not too long, because some of us have been fasting. Feasting on the holy name. Srila Prabhupada began one lecture on the occasion of Lord Rama's appearance with a verse from the Brahma Samhita. Ramadi murti shukala niyamena tishtannana avataram akarot bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna Swayam samabhavat paramap pumanyo Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the Adi Purusha, the primeval Lord, Govinda, who appears in so many forms. Rama Adi, beginning with Rama. In this particular verse it says, beginning with Rama, suggesting that Rama is very important. Ramadi Murtishu, among so many forms of the Lord. Krishna Swayam, Krishna is the original form of the Lord, but the Lord likes to appear in so many different forms because he likes to reciprocate with all of his devotees, however they may wish to relate with him. And we talked on Sunday about Ramachandra's devotee, Murari Gupta, the associate of Lord Chaitanya, who simply could not give up his dear Lord Ramacandra. Even Lord Chaitanya himself was telling him, you should worship Krishna. Imagine Lord Chaitanya would tell you personally, you should worship Lord Krishna. You might not have a problem with that, but Murari Gupta had a big problem. Because after all, he was Hanuman, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed. Prabhupada explained that the forms of the Lord are like so many waves of a river, countless waves of a river. Still, we celebrate particular forms of the Lord, especially, of course, Krishna. He is the primordial Lord himself. And then, in many ways, number 2 in line is Lord Rama. And there's a verse in the Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Tyaktva sudustyaja surepsita raja lakshming dharmishta arya vachasa yadagararanyam maya mrigam dayitayapsitam anvadavat vande mahapurushate charanaravindam. I offer obeisance unto you, the Lord, the Mahapurusha, who, and then the rest of the verse is describing Lord Krishna. It's also describing, the same verse is describing three different forms of the Lord. As Krishna, as Rama, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of whom Tyaktva Sudustyaja Surepsita Raja Lakshmin gave up a opulent situation in order to Maya Mrigam, in the case of Lord Rama, for the purpose of chasing after a mriga. Not for the purpose, but having been commanded to go to the forest, Maya Mrigam, he is requested by Sita to chase after, to capture, or even to take the life of this wonderful magical deer. And as we discussed this morning, that event is the turning point of this occasion of, or the pastimes of Rama, that, of course, after this, Sita is abducted, and then begins the search for Sita, for recovering her. We have discussed also how, to the great relief of the Ramdas Vipra, the Brahmana of southern Mathura, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reassured him, actually it was not Sita who was taken by Ravana, it was Maya Sita. It was an illusory form of Sita. But in any case, Rama is very upset, so much so as we discussed this morning. He wants to destroy the entire universe. He's so angry. Yeah, when God becomes angry, watch out. Fortunately for all of us, Lakshmana persuaded him not to destroy the universe. Aren't you glad for Lakshman? Sri Lakshman ki jai. He persuaded him, no, this is not a good idea. One of the ways he persuaded, he said, you have to be an example for everyone. An example for when people experience distress, when people experience disappointment. Well, that's pretty much everyone, right? As Lakshman says, because it's the nature of the material world that there will be reversals, there will be disappointment. So, Rama, if you don't, as we say in English, slang English, if you don't chill out a little bit, if you don't calm down, and show an example of tolerance, this is not going to be good, because the whole world is watching you. Yat yat achariti sheshtas tat tat evitaro jana sa yat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. Whatever example the shreshtas, the best persons give, tat tat evitaro jana, that very example will be followed by others. Sayat pramanam, whatever evidence, whatever example they give, whatever they do. Lokas tat anuvartate, the whole world follows. So Rama, you have to give that example. Okay. Rama agrees. And so the search begins. Imagine, if you will, it's not so easy for us to imagine. Here in Slovenia you have a fair amount of forest. You have beautiful mountains and a lot of rather deep forest. Imagine living in the midst of such forest, not for a weekend, right? Sometimes we go for a weekend, it's fun. Maybe we go for a week, but by the end of the week we can't wait to get home. So imagine going for 14 years. And in Slovenia, I don't think you have Rakshasas. At least not the type that we're encountering in the Ramayana. The time of Rama in the forest is a very wondrous, magical time. There are very strange beings. There's Kabanda, for example. Kabanda has no head. He has one eye in his chest, and he has a big mouth. And he has long arms. And with these long arms, he just stays in one place, and he just stretches out his arms, and he grabs live, all kinds of wild animals, even elephants. He grabs an elephant, and he just into his mouth. A lion here, an elephant there. And this way he just eats constantly. Because of some curse, he's actually a very nice guy. But because of some curse, he's taken this form. He has to live like this. And Ram and Lakshman, they meet, they encounter him in the forest, and from a distance first they're watching what's going on, what is this? But then they get a little too close at one point, and Kabanda sees them and grabs them immediately, and he says, "Why have you allowed yourself to be taken by me?" He actually talks to them before, before swallowing them, fortunately. And so they have a bit of discussion, and Lakshman says, I think as I remember, he says, "Ram, we're in big trouble." We're in big trouble. We have to do something really fast. So he takes out his sword and he cuts off the two arms of Kabanda. Joy! And then Kabanda pleads with him. He says, "Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I've been waiting for you to come because I was cursed to live like this until you come. But you have to do one more thing. You have to burn me. You have to burn my body immediately. Please, burn my body. If you don't do this quickly, then there can be more trouble. And I cannot tell you why I'm in this body until you burn me." So finally they agree. Okay, so they light him, and then this beautiful form comes out of him. Yeah. A lot of stories in all kinds of world literature that have similar patterns. Actually, the Mahabharata, there's some similarity. We mentioned this morning that the two major ancient wars of India, that of the Mahabharata and that of the Ramayana, were they were fighting over women. And the same is true of the story of the Trojan War, right? They were fighting over Helena, and in this case it was a fight over Sita. In the Mahabharata it was Draupadi. In both the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, the hero, or in case of Mahabharata, heroes, are banished to the forest for many years. So there's some interesting parallels like that. But what I wanted to say is that, of course, eventually, in what's called the Kishkinda Kanda of the Ramayana, Rama, after being advised to do so, he meets the Vanaras, he meets Sugriva, and eventually he meets Hanuman. And he finds himself in the midst of intense politics in the kingdom of Sugriva and his brother Vali. They have become rivals. And Rama finds himself having to side with one of them, namely Sugriva, if he's going to get his help to do what he wants to do. There's a lot of politics in the Ramayana. But the point I wanted to make is these are Vanaras. Vanara means something like monkeys. They are, in any case, a primate, maybe small gorillas or something. But more probably, there's a certain kind of monkey you find in India today. They call them Hanuman monkeys sometimes. There's another term for them, I don't remember at the moment. But monkeys helping human beings, there's a pattern here, because this is found in folk literature in different parts of the world. Sometimes that an animal, or more than one animal, will help human beings specifically to either acquire or to win a beloved, or to recover a beloved. So this is, of course, the case here, that Hanuman and the monkeys, the Vanaras, are making it all possible for Sita to be recovered. Well, perhaps we should enter into this subject, because although it is Rama's appearance day, or perhaps because it's Rama's appearance day, we all like to hear about his dear devotee Hanuman, isn't it? And of course, Hanuman likes to hear the Ramayana himself. It's said that he is constantly hearing and reciting the Ramayana himself. What does Hanuman do? He recites the Ramayana. Well, as we know, Sita has been taken away to Lanka. She has been put under guard of these Rakshasa women. I also mentioned this morning. She's been given 12 months, 1 year, to submit to Ravana. And if she will not submit, then Ravana will order her body to be chopped into pieces and cooked for his meal. Nice guy, huh? Oh, my dear beloved, please be my wife. And if you won't be my wife, I will eat you. Not very civilized. There is, incidentally, a tradition, a later tradition of taking the Ramayana in an allegorical way, such that Ravana becomes the ego, the false ego, and Rama is the Atman, the self, and Sita is the mind. No, Sita is the intelligence. Anyway, like that. I don't remember. Having been fasting, I don't remember. In any case, where am I? Yes, we're in the Ashok Grove, and Sita has been harassed constantly by these Rakshasa women to try to weaken her will. We also talked about this morning. She made it very clear to Ravana in so many ways that she is entirely and completely dedicated to her Lord Rama. There's no question of Ravana winning her heart. Ravana seems to be very much an illusion. He's so much fascinated by himself and his opulences. He thinks he can attract Sita by all of that. So he's a little. He's very qualified in many ways, but in this respect, he's quite blind. He's really kind of ding dong, not very intelligent. So Sita is sitting under the Shingshapa tree. The Shingshapa tree. And she is in this miserable condition. But then finally Hanuman comes. Hanuman, I should back up a little bit. Hanuman, while all the Vanaras were discussing before Hanuman goes to Lanka, they're considering, they decide Sita must be over in Lanka, the land of Lanka, across the sea. How shall we get there? And the various monkeys, they're saying, I can do it. I can do it. No, it's me. I can do it. I can leap so high. And everyone's bragging. And Hanuman is sitting there quietly saying nothing. And then Jambavan, who's a very elderly, either Vanara or bear, he says, hey Hanuman, how come you're so quiet? I happen to know that you have great powers. And then he tells the whole story of Hanuman, and how Hanuman as a small child was doing crazy things like jumping up to reach the sun, thinking that the sun is a big fruit. It must be a very tasty fruit. It's very bright colored. So bright. Let me have that fruit. So he's jumping, and Indra is going, oh my God, what is this guy? Get him down. And so he sends his thunderbolt, whack, he hits him with a thunderbolt, he tumbles down, and when he lands on a rock, he breaks his jaw. Since then his jaw becomes kind of swollen, and he's known therefore as Hanuman, one with a large jaw. He gets eventually a blessing from Indra when he realizes that who he is. He's a son of Marut. He is very special soul. And Lord Brahma also, they give him benedictions, and he's actually extremely powerful. So Jambavan reminds him of this. And when he reminds him, as he's saying this, Hanuman is remembering, oh yes, I have so many powers. And so as he's speaking, he's expanding. And he becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then everyone can understand Hanuman is the one who's going to jump to Lanka. There's a lot of discussion about mountains because Hanuman starts from one mountain, Mahendra. He's about to jump, but first just stepping on this mountain, he's crushing it until it's practically flat. There's another mountain between the mainland and Lanka that comes up to help Lanka, to help Hanuman. What's its name? Mayranda or something. And then there's a third mountain which he lands on. And then when he comes back from Lanka, he's also completely flattens that mountain. It becomes level. So Hanuman himself becomes like a mountain, and he's making this wonderful leap. In modern times, theologians speak of a leap of faith. Hanuman is the original leaper of faith. And when he comes to Lanka, he eventually finds Sita. And then there is a problem, and the problem is to be accepted by Sita as an actual messenger of Rama. Fortunately, Hanuman has a ring from Rama with him. It's like a ticket. It's a proof of who he is. And then Hanuman says to her after convincing her, "Bless you, Maithili is Sita. I am pleased with you, for you have fully observed the rules of human conduct." Oh, I'm sorry, this is not Hanuman speaking. This is one of the Rakshasis. "But now you must heed the good advice that I'm about to give you." We talked also this morning about how so much of the Ramayana is someone trying to persuade someone else to do something, sometimes successfully and sometimes not. Now the Rakshasis are trying to persuade Sita to accept Ravana. "You must accept Ravana," they say. "He is Lord of all the Rakshasas. You should accept him as your husband. For he is as valorous," means like a hero, "and handsome as Indra, the Lord of the gods. He's very powerful, he's handsome. You should surrender to him. Yes? No." On and on they go with this kind of attempt to persuade, but of course all of this is in vain. Hanuman, now we come to Hanuman. This is in the Sundara Kanda. The Sundara Kanda is the middle portion of the Ramayana. And in some ways it's considered the heart of the Ramayana. Sundara means beautiful. It's considered the most beautiful of the beautiful poetry, which is the Ramayana. We talked about how the Ramayana is Adi Kavya. It's the original poetry. Hanuman says, "I'm a monkey." What's the word for monkey in Slovene? Kopica. Opica. Oh, pizza. Oh, pizza. Oh, pizza. Yasam o pizza. I am a monkey, virtuous woman, a messenger of wise Rama. My lady, look at this ring marked with Rama's name. Take heart. Bless you, for your troubles will soon be at an end. So then Janaki Sita, she looks at the ring and she recognizes, yes, this is from her husband. And then she says to Hanuman, you must be valiant, capable, and wise, best of monkeys, since you have been able to breach the stronghold of the Rakshasas single-handedly. You have been able to get through their fortress. You are to be greatly praised for your valor, for in leaping, in jumping, you have crossed the mighty ocean 100 leagues in breadth, the lair of sea monsters, the place where these sea monsters are, as easily as if it were a puddle in a cow's hoof print. Seems that's kind of a standard image of something easy to cross. So like that, she praises Hanuman, and they're speaking for some time, but then starts the trouble. Actually, Hanuman wants to go back to report to Rama that he has found Sita, but he decides before he goes, he's going to start some trouble. Said he wants to have some fun. And so what does he do? First thing he does, he goes around to this whole garden in which Sita has been staying. And except for where she's been staying, the Shingshapa tree in that area, he destroys everything else. Completely just smashes everything, smash, everything finished. Nice gardens, beautiful gardens, wasted. Hanuman has a good time. Well, the word gets out very soon. It comes back to Ravana. Ravana gets angry. He sends some Rakshasas. They come. Hanuman finishes them off very quickly. He sends some more Rakshasas. Hanuman finishes them off. More and more trouble. And now Ravana's really getting angry. Eventually he sends his brother, what's his name? Indrajit, yeah, his son Indrajit. Sends Indrajit, and eventually they manage to bind Hanuman, but first they bind him, they get help from the Brahmarastra to bind him. It's a sort of magical way of binding. And while he's bound this way, then they bind him with a kind of rope made of bark. As soon as they bind him with this rope made of bark, which Hanuman could break through very easily, no problem. The Brahmarastra, he can't deal with that. That's from Brahma. That's tough stuff. But as soon as this other just ordinary rope is has him tied up, the Brahma rope leaves him. And Indrajit realizes, actually, we're in big trouble now. Because he could break out of this at any moment. But Hanuman decides, no, now it's going to be interesting. They're going to bring me to Ravana. Finally, I get to meet Ravana. So they take him to Ravana, and Ravana is quite impressive. And Hanuman's thinking, It's really too bad that he's done this stupid thing of taking Sita, because otherwise he's probably a pretty nice guy. He's obviously very intelligent, very clever, very qualified in so many ways. He's gone and done this stupid thing. Too bad. So, and of course, Ravana, in his anger, thinks there's only one thing to do, and what is that? Kill him. So he commands to his henchmen, to his assistants, kill this monkey. Fortunately for Hanuman, fortunately for all of us, Ravana has a brother named Vibhishana. Vibhishana is not like Ravana. Let's see what Vibhishana says. See if I can find what he says. He manages to persuade. Remember, I said that this is the Ramayana is full of persuasions of all sorts. Well, let's see. Yes, here we are. So, this is Vibhishana. He says, Your Majesty, speaking to Ravana, the execution of this monkey would not become you. It would not look good. For it would be both contrary to righteousness, being dharmic, and censurable, means could be criticized from the point of view of the conduct of worldly affairs. Undoubtedly, he has proved to be a great enemy, for he has wrought unparalleled offense. Nonetheless, the virtuous do not advocate killing a messenger. Moreover, there are many other punishments ordained for messengers. You want to punish him? There are so many ways you could punish him. But you can't kill him. That's against the rules. Apparently, Ravana has some idea of following rules, except in some cases. So like this, he persuades them, and then, as you know, they come upon the idea of how to punish Hanuman, namely to light his tail on fire. So they wrap his tail in some cloth which has been dipped in oil, and they light it on fire. At this moment, Sita Devi is still where she has been, at the Singshapa tree, and she is thinking Hanuman may be in trouble. And so she prays. Would you like to hear what she prays? She prays to the fire god. Interesting, because she seems to have a special relationship with Agni. Agni is referred to here as the eater of oblations, the eater of offerings. So she says, if I have been obedient to my husband, if I have practiced austerity, if I have been a perfectly devoted wife, then may you, Agni, be cool for Hanuman. If wise Rama still has any compassion for me, and if any good fortune remains to me at all, then may you be cool for Hanuman. if that righteous man knows that my conduct has been virtuous and that I long to be reunited with him, then may you be cool for Hanuman. So, meanwhile, Hanuman's tail is burning, or so it seems. But then Hanuman was thinking, why is it that this blazing fire does not completely engulf me? Why is it that I'm not burning? It appears to have huge flames, but still it does me no harm. It is as if there is a mantle, a covering of frost, like snow, settled on the tip of my tail. It feels cool. So apparently the prayers of Sita were effective. Agni was listening. Well, we know what happens eventually. Hanuman breaks out of his bondage. The way he does it is he suddenly expands himself. He stretches these ropes that are holding him. And then he shrinks himself to suddenly be very small, and he slips out in between the ropes. And then he makes himself big again. And then what does he do? He goes on a little tour of Lanka to see the sights. And while he's on tour, his tail is still on fire. Whoops! Now that building is also on fire. And that is also on fire. And now the whole city is burning. I'm so sorry. And then Hanuman springs away from the whole thing. But at one point he stops and he says, "Oh my God!" No, he doesn't say that. He said, "I've made a huge mistake. I've put the whole of Lanka on fire. What about Sita?" He becomes greatly anxious for Sita, but he discovers that she is protected. She has been protected also by Agni. Well, as we all know, Hanuman leaps back to Lanka, and this is where the beginning of the end of Ravana takes place, because from now on, it's just a matter of time. The monkey friends of Lord Rama are going to march. They're going to invade Lanka after building this amazing causeway that apparently floats. The stones float. Why do they float? Because each one of those stones has the name Rama on it. You can try this, an experiment. You can take a stone, put the name Ram, see if it floats. Maybe it won't work. Anyway. It worked back in Treta Yuga. Maybe not in Kali Yuga. So, according to one version, a modern version of this story, it wasn't stones. It was whales. The Sagara, the demigod of the ocean, called together all the whales to come and be there so their backs could serve the purpose of the army crossing. Anyway, that's one version. Okay, so beginning of the end, the great battle will take place. There will be back and forth. It's looking difficult. It's looking very difficult for Rama's army at times, especially when Lakshmana is hit with an arrow and he goes unconscious. What to do? We have to help him. We have to get medicine for him. Call the doctor! We don't have mobile phones. Okay, send Hanuman. Hanuman, you have to get this particular herb, and you have to get it from this mountain. And you have to be here immediately. You have to get back here right away. Okay, he goes. He comes to the mountain. There's 10,000 different herbs on this mountain, and he can't tell one from the other. They all look the same to him. He's not a herbalist. He's a monkey. What to do? He can't waste time. He can't go back and get somebody else who's a herbalist. Are there any herbalists in town? No. He has to act immediately. What to do? Take the whole mountain, of course. And so you'll see these paintings of Hanuman flying through the air, and he's got a mountain on his hand. It's like, like a waiter in a restaurant with a plate, He's coming, serving up, Here I come. Well, of course, eventually the grand finale happens. In a way, it's a grand finale. In a way, it's a kind of a anti-climax when Ravana is finally killed by Rama shooting an arrow in his chest. Because we all know by this time that Ravana is doomed. He's doomed from the very beginning because his purpose is a completely wrong purpose. What is that wrong purpose? He wants to enjoy Sita and take her away from Rama. And as Srila Prabhupada says, this is material life. This is our attempt in material life, is to separate Sita from Rama, Lakshmi from Narayana, Radha from Krishna, when actually they belong together. They are eternally together, but we in the world of conditioning, of ignorance, are thinking that we can make them separate. Fortunately, Lord Rama comes to display this pastime for our benefit. Over the centuries, the millennia, the yugas, his story is told again and again and again. In some ways, it's a very simple story, but it's a sublime story. And again, finally to say, Srila Prabhupada reminds us, if we hear the pastimes of Lord Rama, we are associating with Lord Rama. If we chant his holy name, we are associating with him. If we glorify him, if we remember him, we are associating with him. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki. Shri Ram Navami ki. Shri Shri Ram Navami Maha Mahotsava ki. Shri Shri Panchatattva ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you. I don't know, what's the schedule? Yeah.